Hi everyone, my name is Kenechi Adugwo and I am based out of Houston, Texas. I have had the wonderful privilege of working in the financial industry for some years now. And in the time I have spent here, I've picked up a few gems that I'm excited to share with you all today. So, for those of you who don't know me yet, it's this. I love Jesus. And one thing I love to do is to share my faith with others. So I'm super grateful to Favour for letting me use his platform to bring some good news to you all today. Secondly, I now have a career in the financial industry, and I actually grew up with a really bad understanding of money. I always heard that wealthy people are bad, rich people are bad. I heard that money was the root of all evil. And, there were people around me that constantly taught that being poor was somehow more noble than people who were well off. And what I found out was that I was being taught the wrong view of money. And maybe you can relate to that a little bit. Maybe you were raised that way. For me, it was because of the church that I grew up in. But sometimes, whether you grew up in a church or not, sometimes it's also society. In the movies, in cartoons, where the rich guys were always the bad guys, right? People often sabotage any good opportunities that come their way because of those bad subconscious beliefs that they have deeply embedded in their minds. The truth is, it is the love of money that is the root of all evil and not money itself. Having and acquiring wealth is not a bad thing. How we handle it or allow it to change our character might be. Money only magnifies our character. If you're a bad person, more money would only magnify that. And the opposite is also true. I know plenty of highly wealthy people who do so much good, but you'd never hear about it because good people don't flaunt that. So for me, as I initially first started working in the financial industry, I would often ask myself questions like, should I be here? I don't know how I feel about this, but when I learned how to navigate finances God's way, that's when everything changed for me. And this has been a passion project of mine that I have been working on for some years now. You guys, I'm so excited about this because I'm taking a few of my passions, financial literacy, because it is so needed, especially here in America, but also taking it from a Christian's perspective and how to handle money well and how to not mismanage it. So, over the next few weeks, we'll be covering this topic within the context of community building, family building, time building, and investment building. Tune in every week for the next 5 weeks and get ready. It's going to be great. I think it's important for us to realize that how we handle money affects our fellowship with God. And much of our life revolves around the use of money. So, how are you handling your finances? If you need guidance, then this is the series for you. This 5-part series will teach you how to become a good steward of your money. Some questions to think about as we navigate the upcoming weeks. Am I being a good steward of the resources God has entrusted to me? Does my financial behavior reflect the principles of honesty and integrity? Am I prioritizing giving and helping those in need through charitable contributions? Is my pursuit of wealth becoming an idol, taking precedence over my faith and relationships? Do I practice contentment and gratitude for what I have? Am I incurring excessive debts to keep up with the world? Does my spending align with my values and priorities? Am I saving and planning for the future responsibly while recognizing that God ultimately provides? Have I sought wise counsel or guidance from financial advisors that align with my faith? We will be answering these questions and much more in these series. Favor, on to you.
Wow. Have you guys heard that? This is a big thing because I also believe that my experience too, especially when it comes to money and growing up, in the Christian faith,
Mm-hmm.
as a pastor's kid, as an ordained assistant pastor, just as God's child. Let me just put it that way, to be very simple. Because we can have titles and everything, but at the end of the day, we're God's children. And when you
Yeah.
think about being a child of God, you have to act like a child, but not be a child, if that makes sense.
Right.
So,
Makes sense.
yeah, so I feel like this is that kind of podcast that people will kind of see a different side, but also look inside a little deeper and also search within themselves to know how they're spending money and where they're investing their time, their talents, and their skills, because it's a sad thing, but how they say, like, and I heard this from Dr. Miles Monroe, great man, and his legacy still lives on to today.
Yeah.
Even after he's going to be with the Lord, and you look at it the way he said that the most expensive place on earth is the grave because there's so much that people didn't do when they were alive that they could have
Mm.
done, and dreams that they could have been. I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be this. There would be so many things that you could have been but you didn't become because you didn't believe. So, and everything starts with the word be.
Yeah.
So I think when we dive deeper into the topic, it's going to be so important. And also now, even me being in the financial industry, learning
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how you can actually use money as a way to use it for capital gain. And
Yeah.
when you think about cash flow is current, and current is currency, and currency has
Yeah.
a flow. So there are currencies in different countries, and then the baseline is a C. So when you start looking at
Mm.
like the ABC formula, audience brings community, ABC,
Mm.
then we can really, connect the dots and see how that can be beneficial for everyone financially. So what do you think about that?
I love that. I absolutely do. And it's interesting you mentioned that because today I kind of wanted to kick off the series with the part on like relationship building, which kind of falls under community, but especially now within the context of dating. Um, I do believe that, going back to what you said about like, cash flow, I do believe that to a large extent, our lifestyle choices can weave a stronger bond between ourselves and each other, and vice versa. Unfortunately, it appears that many women do not think about lifestyle when choosing a mate. And it's not just about like having common interests or shared values, but I mean those are important, but it's also about like the day-to-day life that you both want, right? Like, does it match? Whether it's a love for travel or just, you know, quiet evenings at home or a desire to be part of a bustling city scene, I feel like lifestyle desires can be the glue that holds a relationship together over the long haul. But all too often, what I've seen is that couples find themselves at odds over lifestyle, which then leads to conflict. Is either one of you on a special type of dietary regime? Are you both morning people, or is one person more of a night owl? These things will affect you a lot if you both decide to like tie the knot. And these aren't deal breakers in themselves, but they are conversations to have if you are dating for marriage. If he loves you, he will do all he can to meet you in your needs and desires. No matter how much he loves you, though, he's never going to be able to read your mind, ladies. And he will not be the dude from the notebook making those, dramatic, romantic gestures every day. You will need to communicate your needs and desires. For example, you can ask him how he wants to spend his weekends and his weeknights. Like, does he want to cook together on Friday nights, or does he want to be at the black tie dinner? Do either of you want to attend church on Sundays? Is it important that you do this together? Is one of you very social and the other an introvert? And how will you navigate that balance in marriage? I feel like lifestyle desires will affect you a lot in marriage. And most people sadly never think about them. They think it will all work out, right? If two people love each other. But talking about these things creates a smoother marriage. And this is why I really wanted to kick this off today, because a lot of women today are in the dating scene for marriage, and it's important to realize that choosing a life partner isn't just about love. It's about finances, it's about lifestyle compatibility. Do you both crave adventure, or do you cherish quiet nights in? Are you city souls or country hearts? It's the daily rhythms, like being early birds or night owls, that can build a relationship. Dietary habits, weekend plans, social gatherings, these aren't deal breakers, but they're crucial things to talk about for those dating in marriage, with marriage in mind. So love isn't a mind reader's game, ladies. It's about expressing needs and finding common ground. So it's really important to talk and have these conversations now. Align your heart, your mind, and speak up for a smoother journey together. As this also ties in with how your finances will be handled if and when you do get married. So remember, when the looks fade and the sparks fizzle out, these things will be so important to the longevity of a relationship. Being compatible, being like-minded, and open to having those tough financial conversations will serve your relationship and marriage much more than the sparks, the butterflies, or how good he looks or she looks. So when we stop focusing so much on butterflies and sparks and start focusing on the important stuff like finances and lifestyle choices, then these are the things that will matter most down the line.
This is good. As you were speaking, I was thinking, how they say, um, this is how they say something. This is how they say it. They say, his money is our money, my money is my money.
Oh God.
You see how you responded? Every woman listening to that should be like, yeah, that exactly. They'll agree to that, because that's kind of like the notion, like happy wife, happy life, stuff like that. But it's like, at the same time, you're like, so what about the man? If he's not happy, then what? So we gotta balance the equation, because I feel like it's so much on the extreme side that we forget that it's team effort.
Yeah.
We are like, instead of competing against each other, we're like, okay, who makes more in the house? Even if she makes more than me, it doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful, right? And
Right.
and if I make more than you, I don't have to be rude, that kind of thing. So when you also kind of see where the spiritual factor lies, as far as the foundation first, and then builds into your character, then builds into your discipline on how you spend money, how you save money, how you invest money, how you scale. That's really where the essence of legacy comes in. And podcasts like this, people can listen to years from now, learn a few things from you, from me, from the series, and
Yes.
be empowered empowered. So I feel like this is a great start for people to chew on, for 15 minutes before they get the full meat and potatoes.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to be showing up for the next couple of weeks and just diving deeper into this topic. So maybe the first question that everyone can answer from this episode is your pursuit of wealth becoming an idol? Is it taking precedence over your faith and relationships? That's something to think about.
hmm Yeah, that's a great question. And I feel like before the next episode, you could think about that. And then when you come and listen to the next one, it can empower you to do better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Favour, for having me here today.
Anytime. Thank you for being here, Erica.
All right. Well, catch you next week and see y'all next week.
See y'all next week.
By God's special grace. Yeah.
Amen. Bye, y'all. God bless you.
God bless you.